Xbox lost the console war. Now it's redefining gaming. What do you guys think? What's going to happen to Xbox now? Okay, if it lost the console war, what does that mean?
Today, with more than 30 game studios, Xbox is an industry mainstay.
But it had to really earn that position in the market.
The console war began in the 1970s, when video game companies started competing to create a more powerful console and win more customers. By the 90s, the biggest players were Sony, Nintendo, and Sega.
Yep,
and
had all three of those.
In 1997, consumer spending on consoles surpassed arcades for the first time.
Told you it was 97,
later,
right there
Microsoft
in the middle.
entered the scene with its first-generation Xbox.
Look at that.
To entice customers into their ecosystems, most of these companies tried to keep the prices on their consoles as low as possible, selling them at a loss.
Yes.
Xbox.
That's why it's so important to have both Sony and Xbox in the mix, because they kind of keep each other in check. For years, whenever there's been like a console release, they've kind of waited and to see what the pricing was going to be for the other console. They kind of try to like one up each other essentially, or one down each other if you think about it that way, to try and take some money off the console to make it a better value, because they know they're going to make up those sales in accessories and games, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, at a loss, Lucina. They really sold them at a loss. If you think about it, you can't get a PC with the type of parts in an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5 for the price that they're giving it to you.
Up to $200 per console. But the brands made up the difference by selling games and other accessories.
The more consoles you sell, the more software you're going to sell with it.
The PlayStation outsold the Xbox every single time.
And this is what I was saying. I did a video. So we put out this video talking about the PlayStation's hefty price. And one person said, which I thought was really interesting, they said around the 4-minute mark, you said that Xbox is going digital only and may never make another console again. It's just an asinine statement considering that multiple times they've said that the next console is already underway and being developed. Yes, that's true. That's actually true. King Ken has it right. There is going to be another Xbox console. But with these dwindling numbers, do you really think they're going to keep going at it when they've got an app that can literally be played on just about any device now? I don't think so. Xbox 360 was the GOAT. Okay, that's my GOAT console right there. Everything that came out for the 360 was amazing. Just about everything that came out for the 360 was amazing. PlayStation 2 versus Xbox, come on. There's no contest. That's one of the greatest consoles of all time. Hands down.
Microsoft only came close to beating Sony with the Xbox 360. Analysts say this was because the PlayStation 3, which ran customers up to $600, was priced too high. But the Xbox lost ground with the next generation, and ultimately, it lost the console war. In essence, Microsoft is betting that it can get more customers if they don't have to buy a console.
That's right.
This model also gives the company a recurring revenue stream, so it doesn't have to rely as much on blockbuster successes.
So Game Pass solves the problem on the consumer side by making lots of content available for cheap, and on the business or the supply side in terms of offsetting the financial volatility associated with entertainment.
They're hoping that they can get Xbox Game Pass on everything. And right now, it's a lot of places. Okay? If they're able to get Game Pass on Nintendo Switch or PlayStation, it's very unlikely. If they can get it, it's a game changer. I mean, imagine being able to play Xbox games on your Nintendo Switch. Then Xbox doesn't have to worry about coming out with a new console. They don't have to worry about competing in the mobile space or anything like that. They don't have to worry about outpricing PlayStation. And I'm with you, Tabby. I want some of the exclusives too. This is how they kind of, split hairs, is basically with their exclusives.
Phil Spencer has said Game Pass is profitable.
And I think it will stay in that 10 to 15% of our overall revenue.
But Microsoft isn't the only
10
one
to
stepping into the
15% of their overall revenue.
In 2022, Sony merged its subscription services, PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now, and relaunched it to compete with Game Pass.
It's not a good competitor. They could easily turn the tides on Game Pass if they just simply got every PlayStation 2 game on there and made it like part of the system, right? Every single PlayStation 2 game they have access to, and I would flock to PlayStation in a heartbeat. Okay, you know I would.
First, it's a much larger company with lots and lots of money. And for the past decade, Microsoft has been using that money to acquire game studios, beefing up its library. In 2014, it bought Mojang, the maker of Minecraft, for $2.5 billion.
Ooh.
In 2021, it bought ZeniMax Media, owner of Fallout and Doom, for $8.1 billion. And in 2023, it finalized the purchase of Activision Blizzard, the maker of Call of Duty and Candy Crush, for $75.4 billion.
I love how they mention Candy Crush, which is still like, I still laugh every time I hear Candy Crush. But to be honest, that was one of the things that they really wanted. Like, it is so profitable and so many people play Candy Crush still to this day, that the Activision Blizzard king side of this is just as valuable as the Activision Blizzard side.
To put it in perspective, that is a little bit less than what Sony makes annually.
I want $75.4 billion too. I'll settle for the $0.4 billion. I'll just round down. Give me the round down and give me that.
The incumbents like Nintendo and Sony, they live and die on great content and this magnificent retail distribution infrastructure that they've built. So it's in Microsoft's interest to push into its data centers and its infrastructure in the cloud, because it can't beat Sony and Nintendo at retail.
That's fair. I think that the PlayStation ecosystem is too strong. The fanboys run deep, okay? And they're going to hate on Xbox regardless.
But there are lots of obstacles. To start, adoption has been slow. In 2020, it targeted 71% subscriber growth and reached 86%. But the following year, it fell short. And in 2022, it missed its target by
Well, that, to be fair, 2020 was the year of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. That tinkered with the numbers a little bit. But then 2022, whoa. What's the excuse for that? I don't know.
Long shot.
Some people are just not comfortable with the idea of not actually owning a game. They may want to play a game, put it down for 6 months and pick it up later, or a year later or more. And it may not be in the subscription service anymore after that time.
So as of 2024, Game Pass has amassed 34 million subscribers. Some of the biggest challenges are specific to cloud gaming.
That's no slouch of a number.
Game Pass's top tier. Traditionally, game data was stored locally on cartridges, discs, or downloaded straight to the console. With online
Not to mention they had batteries that helped keep the save for Game Boy games. And most of those batteries have all run out. So chances are, if you have an old Game Boy game sitting around, your save file is donezo.
But with cloud gaming, the entire game is streamed to your device, which can be laggy.
If it's a competitive game, a millisecond can mean the difference between winning and losing.
Cloud gaming is also expensive to operate.
There's no way anyone's playing or should be playing competitive first-person shooter games or any competitive game through cloud gaming. Okay, that's not what it's for. It's for more single-player experiences. Also, one of the benefits of the cloud gaming landscape is the fact that you can try a game without downloading it. That's a game changer, because nobody wants to sit there and wait 10, 15, 20 minutes to download a game and then realize it's not really for you.
The economics have changed, but they haven't immediately changed to, only run a profit. Both of those offerings, whether those are product-based and conventional or whether they are streaming and more digital, both of those run at a loss in principle, but to recuperate and to earn money in those contexts is a very different proposition.
One report found that just 6% of gamers around the world were subscribed to a cloud gaming service in 2023. Still, experts believe it will grow substantially.
This is the worst that AI and cloud gaming will ever be. It will only get better from here. Yeah, it's just a matter of time.
Microsoft isn't getting rid of the Xbox anytime soon. Later this year, it will release new versions of its current generation, the Series X and S. But it's clear that Xbox views its content as the future of the company, not its hardware.
That's going to be Xbox in the future. Xbox is going to be known more for Game Pass and less about the console.